Didn't have a very auspicious departure from Almeriamar. The wind wasn't so bad, but it was picking up a little bit in the marina, and I managed to cast off the lines by myself, and I got her into reverse a little bit, moved back, and I put her forward into forward gear so that I could move off. And the wind blew me, and I realised that I was getting too close to this catamaran, big catamaran. So I tried to go into reverse. Couldn't get it into reverse. So you know what happened? Yeah, I hit the boat. I made a little mark in it, and the guy came out, and I mean, I was obviously profusely sorry and offered to insure whatever, but he was okay with it. Really, he was okay. So I thanked them, you know, and he actually helped me to move out, to cast off again. I was very lucky. I could have really damaged his boat, you know. So what did I learn from that? Is I shouldn't be going in and out of marinas with this engine. It works, yeah, but I can't get it into reverse and stuff fast enough. It's, you know, it's just a bit of a saga. So I'm going to have to sort that out for sure. I'm going to have to sort this engine. I'm going to have to sort everything out once I get to Mallorca. There's so many things that I need to fix on Corycia before I can do a really big trip. Yes, I want to do a really big trip, but it won't be for a while, because I wanted to go around the world and take Kona, my dog, but I've realised that it will just be torture for him. It's not fair being on a little boat like this. It would be horrendous for him. So that's on hold, but we'll see. We'll do other things. For now, I'm leaving. I'm about 5 miles off Almeriamar now, and I've got to head soon. I've got to change tack. Wind is head on. I've got to change to get through the Cabo de Gata, which really is the point where you enter the Mediterranean Sea, because from here up to the Straits of Gibraltar it's the Almeriamar I. So we're not really in the Med yet, and I look forward to getting into it. That's about 30 miles from here. That's another thing, and that's another TSS, another shipping lane I have to try and get through, but I'll be going on the inside lane this time because it's just too far. So we'll see. Anyway, keep you updated. Almeria first became sort of famous because of the spaghetti westerns, you know, the Clint Eastwood ones. They were made around here. Now it's I think it's one of the biggest agricultural production areas in Spain. And if you look at all that white stuff, that's plastic. That's the greenhouses. And it goes all the way along the coast. And you have to think about the fact that people work in there. Now, when I lived in Israel, I worked in the greenhouses down in the desert, in the Arava desert. And I can tell you, it is a nightmare. It is sometimes 45, 50 degrees inside. Hot, humid, chemicals, sprays, irrigation systems. Can you imagine the workforce out here? And I bet you most of them are immigrants, yeah? On minimum wage. Supplying your daily produce, your fresh vegetables. Think about it. It's been hard going today, as usual. Headwinds, about 10-15 knots, great. But the seas have been pretty choppy and terrible. They've calmed down a bit now. But in reality, I've done about 50 miles, but I've only actually made 14 miles headway. 14 miles in 8 hours. And so I've got another 14 to 16 miles to try and get around Cabo de Gata, the headland over there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's probably going to take me until tomorrow morning, because I'm having to tack quite a lot, and also have to watch out for the shipping. And there you go. That's I suppose sailing is one of the only places or things that you go where you don't want to go to get to where you need to go, if you know what I mean. because I never seem to be going in the right direction. I never seem to go in the right direction, but eventually you get there, well, hopefully. So today's going to be another long night. I still feel bad about that guy's boat, you know, I feel bad about it. I keep thinking, what could I have done differently? And well, I couldn't have done anything. Ask somebody to help me, but you know, what can I do? You know, anyway, I probably won't be in touch until tomorrow because I need to try and get past this. But I mean, I'm doing 2 knots in total. I'm actually moving 4, but I'm only doing about 2. So we'll see. Anyway, chin up. See you in the morning. Distance, I think you can see Cabo de Gata and the coastline there. I've been trying to get away from there for 2 days now. Last time you saw me was I was on my way there. We've had strange seas, strong currents, high winds that kept changing direction, and I just couldn't get out of there. 2 days I've been there. I haven't slept at all, and I'm still not completely free of its clutches. But the weather's changed a bit. The sea's still a bit choppy, but it's getting manageable, and the wind's up a little bit. And now we've just got this mist rolling in, not from the sea but from the land. And I'm wearing my hat. Whoop. And other stuff. Really, it's been mad. It's been mad. You probably can't see me very well because I'm in the shade, but it's just too hot. I can't take my hands off the tiller because the sea is just strange. Every time I leave Corycia, she just turns around. Really weird. Yeah, I know I look strange. Anyway, this morning I was so tired that I actually forgot what I was doing here. I knew I was on the boat, but I didn't know what I was doing here. And then when I realised what I was doing here, which was trying to get to Mallorca, then I had to think about, well, how do I actually do that? I'd forgotten how to do anything. I still haven't had any sleep, but I've had a few of them cups of coffee, the sweet milk stuff, and I've had some food, and that's helped. But at the moment I can't really leave the tiller apart from a couple of minutes to jump and get stuff. It's been, whew, I tell you, it's been a bit of a trial. Almeriamar I didn't let me go, and now I'm in the Med. It's just as messy. It's just as messy, and I'm not talking about Lionel. So I'm on a course of 050, trying to head for Mallorca. Like I said, the winds improved a little bit, but it's still head on, so I can't go direct. I'm having to tack. You won't believe how many times I've tacked to try to get out of there. You won't believe it. In the end, I had to actually put the engine on a motor sail because it was getting dangerous once again. I was in between the rocks and the ship separation scheme thing. It's just mad. And I'm glad I'm finished with them ship separation schemes, the TSSs, because you either have to go around them, which I prefer, which could take you 50 miles, 60 miles off your way, or you have to go in them, which means you go in between them and the rocks, which I did this time. Utter madness. Utter madness. They should put them somewhere further out, in my humble opinion. Anyway, best get back to work. Speak soon. Red sky in the morning. Sailor's warning. Well, I wish it had warned me last night, because it's been another disaster. 3 nights in a row now. You know, the last video I sent, I just gotten out of Cabo de Gato. Well, still there. Because I had to go along the coast. And the sea was okay, wind was okay, I had a good sail. And then, what happened? Oh, that's a surprise. Winds died. Winds died. Current became strong. And I couldn't escape the little bay here. And here's rocks everywhere. And this little bit of water, I've been stuck here for almost 2 days. Trying to get out. And make matters worse, the saviour, the engine wouldn't start. And I've been trying everything to try and get it started, but nothing. And well, look at the mess I've got here. Oh, it's a bit upside down. There's the engine. Couldn't wash the dishes. And I even got out the oar. That was the last desperate measure this morning. Helped a little bit, but not so much. It needs to be extended. What a mess. What a mess. Anyway, let's hope that this little bit of wind I've got now can get me out of here. I'm tired of dodging everything. And we'll see. See you soon. I've escaped Cabo de Gata. But a price is paid. I am... it's been difficult. Sorry, in the shade. How many days? 3 nights, 3.5 nights. Yeah, 3 nights, no sleep. Once again, last night I thought my number was up. You know, because I've gotten used to like the engine being able to save me. When everything was falling apart, you know, the wind had stopped, everything had stopped, and all the ships were starting to come. I thought, well, at least I've got, you know, this secret weapon, the Saab, but it didn't start. And I tried, God knows how many times, and it wasn't going to start. So that's when I started to panic. I just didn't know what to do. I got out the oar, but one oar's not really good enough. I stuck it out the back and tried to do it like that, but it's not long enough. And then I reverted to the one that saved my life the first time, when all eons ago in the Irish Sea, the Genoa. So what I do is I hold the Genoa sheet in one hand and I hold the tiller in the other, and I play with the Genoa. I keep pulling it and like wafting air. And it actually works it well, you know, it moves it. It moves it. Sorry, I'm just having to watch out for ships. But, you know, doing all that all night, weaving in and out of ships, and especially the way the sea was, if you did a little bit wrong, whoop, Corycia would do a 180. And so I spent most of my night going around in circles, dodging ships. And there was one, it was the first one. It was the first time that I needed to start the engine, I thought, and I couldn't get the engine started. And of course I was down there for a while, and I came back up, and what did I see? Big white light and a red and a green coming towards me. That's when I jumped on and got the Genoa, and once again it saved me. So at the moment today's okay. Forecast was no wind and sunny. So far we've had wind and there's been a bit of a thunderstorm going on, but luckily it's missed us at the moment. If I can stay on this course, It's 280 miles to Mallorca, but I don't think I'd be able to stay on this course. But wishful thinking. I keep falling, you know. I keep falling into this trap of like time scales and all of that, and it doesn't work. Okay. Right, I'm gonna have to eat something. There's a ship coming for a change, and that's it for now. Yeah, all brown and burnt. And look at my hands, blisters and all sorts. But you know, this is a sailor's life, isn't it? Yes, the fashion statement gets stranger every day, doesn't it? I don't know whether I'm an Arabian Night, a Mexican bandit, a Moroccan farm worker, or just me. Not really sure. Anyway, last night was another circus. Sailing was good. Actually had some good seas. Well, you know, lots of bumpy waves like today. But the wind was fine, didn't die on me. But I was like caught in a trap. Yeah, because I've got the rocks on one side and, well, I've got the south on the other side, which I don't want to go to, which is where it would be good if I did, because the wind was going in that direction. And in the north I've got ships, and in the east I've got ships, and I can't go northeast, which is where I really want to go, because that's where the wind's coming from. So I was like trapped in this like kind of box. It's like a game, you know. I couldn't get out. Doesn't matter which way I turn, how to dodge a ship. And once again, another one was playing chicken with me. You know, he came right up my stern, and he passed within, I don't know, 40 meters. He knew I was there. 40 meters. Instead of passing behind me, he passed in front of me, cut me off. I mean, maybe they're just bored. You know. Anyway, I don't know if you can see me properly, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Oh dear, I see another ship. And it's coming in my direction. Oh, I'm going to have to cut off. See you in a bit. Well, he was a lot better. He or she, sorry. Private yacht. Someone just like me. Probably with a bit, maybe £5 billion more. But, you know, rules of the road followed, whatever they are. But you know what I mean. Kept his space, made his intentions clear, turned away from me, let me know that I didn't have to be concerned. Good on him or her. I'm sick of this gender shit. Sorry, swore again. Shit, a swear word? Anyway, where was I? Yes, fashion. There you go. Ah, yeah, boats. Yeah, so last night, yeah, was another balagan. I like the word balagan. Balagan's a Hebrew word, means big mess. A conundrum. I suppose for you expert sailors out there, people who know what they're doing, it's quite easy to sort these things out, especially tacking, trying to get where you need to be. But I mean, I can't steer. I need to go to 60 degrees, right? Now, I can get to maybe 25, and on the other side I can maybe get to 150, 120, but with the gusts and stuff, really, it's about 20 under 140. So I have to keep tacking backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And in the meantime, I'm having to dodge ships, keep out way of rocks and everything. And you know, I can, like, now I've just travelled for maybe over 2 hours, and Corycia is doing 5 knots, and I only made 2 miles. You know what I mean? And it's like, so a good day, I reckon I could probably do about 80 miles, Corycia, but at the moment, you know, I'm getting maybe 40. I mean, the other day I only got 20. But hey ho, I've got less than 200 nautical miles to go towards before I see the island of Mallorca. Then I've got to go around from the south to the north to Marina. It's all I think about those well. I'm going to try and sort out the engine if I can get some bit of calmness. See if she'll start one last time to get me in. He's the boy, Sam. Chris is the girl, he's the boy. Gender, yeah, once again, not like sexist. And yeah, so that's what I need to do. Try and get him sorted out. Just one last effort, get him in. If not, I'm going to have to get the dinghy out and try and, you know, push boat him in, but the marina's not going to be happy with that. But we'll come to that when we come to it. I've still got between 5 and a million days to go, depending on this wind. If it keeps coming from this direction, it's going to take me a long, long time, and I'm so close, yet so far. Anyway, them rocks, still over there. I still haven't got away from them. I still haven't got away from the rocks. I've got a bit of paranoia now about rocks, big ships, mist, the dead calm. The heat's been very hot today, as the heat usually can be. This afternoon I haven't had so many ships, but then again, as soon as I've said that, I've just seen one. But I've got a little bit of time. I'm going to tack east if I can to try and get underneath Formentera, and then on my way to Mallorca. It's 186 nautical miles to go. Let's just hope we can make it, eh? And then we have to think about the engine and how we're going to get around Mallorca and get it into the marina. But that's another day. Anyway, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. Called Billy Boy. Billy Boy. He doesn't say very much. He's very good at his job. He's a boy. Anyway, that was just a little quick update. Let you know everything's fine. And I'm going to go and have my dinner soon. I'm going to have some meatball couscous, and that'll be about it. It's a funny hot day, I know. You catching me during my dinner? Garlic, tomatoes, egg, 4 eggs. Very good for you. Anyway, sometimes my imagination plays tricks on me, especially when you've been at sea like this, under this intense pressure. Today, today when I was going along, I saw in front of me about, I don't know, 300 meters away in front, what looked to me like a life raft. So straight away, action stations, you know. Got myself sorted, got some extra life jackets. I was going to call the Coast Guard, but I thought I'll leave until I get there. Got up there, it was a big shampoo bottle shaped airbed. But I thought it was a life raft full of refugees or something like that. Or immigrants, you know, that come across from Africa. Second one, I was travelling up east, I tacked east, and of course I'm travelling. I'm a bit mad today. And I saw these two shapes, very streamlined, coming straight towards me under the water, and I'm like, it's torpedoes? Somebody's firing torpedoes at me. Now, who in their right mind would want to fire torpedoes at me? The baddies? Who knows? Anyway, so I thought these were two torpedoes coming towards my bow, and I'm like, and then I'm thinking, nah, I can't be torpedoes. No one's going to fire torpedoes at me. And so then I realised it was two dolphins coming high speed towards the boat, followed by a pod of the rest of them, and they all played around here quite happily for half an hour. so they could buy splish splash off their weapon. But I was convinced it was torpedoes. How bad is that? It's the baddest. Anyway, so I'm just going to have me din-dins, and like I said, I'm a bit mad today, so that's how things go with me. See you soon. Well, this is the kind of waves we've got today and what we had last night. The wind isn't so bad. I'm probably shouting, but just in case you can't hear me. Now I'm trying to make headway here, but the waves are so sloppy that it's really difficult. As you can see, we're bouncing all over the place. And this is on attack, about 120. Now I want to go to 60, but I can't go between 120 and 30. So I'm going from 120, then I'm tacking to 30. Had a big accident before. It wasn't until I left port that I realised that the sink didn't have a U-bend in it. So when I tack to port, all the water comes into the sinks. Now, I usually lock everything. I close everything. Oop, turn it around. I usually close everything, but today I'm so tired, I forgot. And so when I tacked, and the Corycia is leaning right over, it started to feel a bit funny. And I looked down the hatch here in the cockpit, and we're full of water. And I looked into the cabin, and the sinks are full of water, overflowing. We're sinking. So I quickly closed the seacock and started the pump. Got a bucket out and solved that problem. This is what happens when you're sailing by yourself and when you're lacking sleep. You don't think right. You have to be extra careful. Extra careful. It's those little silly things like that that can end you, eh? But anyway, whoop. Hold on, just turn a little bit. If you don't keep it on 120 and you go like to say 110, the sails all flop and it turns around by itself. Had this all the time for days and days. The sea's really weird. Considering the Mediterranean hasn't got much of a current, a tide, it's got plenty of swirly bits and currents and stuff. Anyway, patience. Remember, patience. Patience. Well, my cabin's turned into a mess again. Everything's strewn all over the place. Corycia's been thrown all about today. And I've reefed the sails, but you're still getting thrown about. The sea, I would call it, is sloppy sea with big waves and sometimes big freak waves. But you know, I've seen worse. Bay of Biscay was worse than this. I know the Mediterranean can get bad, but I don't think this is going to get mad bad. But you never know. But I've prepared for it. Life jacket and all that kind of stuff already. Better just be safe than whatever. Another little incident today. A freak wave came, hit the solar panel, broke one of the wiring. So I managed to bodge it together again, and yeah, it is charging the batteries, but not very much. So even if I can get the Saab engine fixed, I wouldn't be able to start it. My main concern is the lights, you know, at night time. So as long as I can get the mast lit up and be seen, that's the most important thing. don't want to be out at night time without any lights on. So, but for tonight that seems to be okay. I've got 2 trickle solar panels which might do the job as well. We'll have to wait and see about that. Yeah, I've realised since I came into the med, I haven't had a full night's sleep, that's for sure. Apart from obviously the break I had to have in Almeriamar because of I was shattered. But just a quick recap, right? We had going through the Straits of Gib, the weather was unbelievable, and then we had the mist, then I nearly got killed. Then the night, I think it was 2 nights running after that, we were becalmed, and I didn't know if I was going to get into the port, and I was drifting around for 2.5 days before eventually I managed to get into port. Then I had my little break. After that, well, I had another becalm, and then I was trying to get around the Cabo de Gata, and it just went mad again with that really strange swell of weather, and yeah, that was a mad night, that was. And then the next one was that night of the becalmed, where it freaked me out, that did, when I was playing with the Genoa all night. And then yesterday, that was the one where I was dodging all the ships. No, that was the day before yesterday. And then last night, it was the seas being like this, so I had to steer all night. So I didn't get any sleep. I got maybe 3 bursts of 20 minutes. So in all this time, I reckon I've maybe had 10 bursts of 20-25 minutes sleep. That's cruising fire. A sailor's life for me. Good morning. Another weird night. Tacking to and fro, ending up where I started. I don't think I made 2 or 3 miles last night. Don't know what's going on. It's all a bit weird. Normally when you tack, you know you can tack through 90 degrees. For some reason I can only tack 180 degrees. So I've been going from one to the other, from one forward and back. But sometimes I think I should just call myself if only. You know, if only the wind was in a different direction. Oh, if only there was more wind. Oh, if only there was less wind. Oh, if only the sea was a bit less rough when the wind was like this. I find the longer I'm doing this, that there's a part of my character that is a moany old so-and-so, say. You know? Just wants everything to be right and everything to be perfect. Expectations, I want this, I want that. You know? And I think one of the videos at the beginning of the voyage, I talked about, you know, acceptance and all of this stuff. Some of the, you know, I say lots. You know, I can give good advice to other people, but when it comes to me, I've got a lot to learn. But this trip is sorting out all of them bits and pieces, or at least it's bringing them to light for me to realise the flaws in my character that I would like to not erase, you know, because it's part of me, but be able to deal with, be able to control a bit more. Sorry, it's gone a bit dark, the sun, it's still quite early. But anyway, this morning, as I toed and froed, I eventually got to a stage where I can actually make headway in the direction that I want to get to. So, the seas are a bit, here we go again, complaining. The seas are a bit sloppy, the wind isn't really enough, and blah blah blah, but I'm sort of making headway in the right direction, which is a good thing. One thing I've realised about this trip, I mean, I knew before being on big ships and stuff, But I thought being on a little sailboat that I would get seasick. Not once. I've never felt a bit queasy. You know, and I've been bounced around and told around and been becalmed and all of these different states, and I always feel fine, which is a good thing. Imagine if I had to go through all these trials and tribulations and be seasick. Well, I would just step over the side, I think. You know, I mean, as it is, sometimes I feel like just diving overboard. And I know that when I get back, people say, "Oh, did you enjoy your trip?" And I'll be like, it's supposed to have been a holiday, I suppose, but it was never going to be a holiday. And by the way, it's not over yet. I could have anywhere between 3 and a million days, like I said before. But once again, running out of food. I've got enough water. I'm on the porridge and water, rice. I've got a few tins left of sardines and tuna, and some more meatballs, which that's a special occasion meatballs, and we'll make do. I've ran out of that nice sweet milky stuff that you put in your coffee. Moan, 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 and that's about it. I have to get back. Well, I'm still here on the tiller because as for the last week I've had to steer by hand, and if I leave it for more than a minute it goes off course. For some reason the bungees, Bill and his new friends are not really working too well. I don't know what it is. It's this current or it's the sloppiness of the waves, blah blah blah, mo mo mo. Anyway, speak soon. I don't know if you can make that out very well, but that is my first glimpse of the Balearic Islands. It isn't Mallorca, it's Formentera, but same group, so, you know, I'm quite optimistic. Slowly getting there, slowly getting there. Well, it's later on in the day, or it's early evening now. As you can see, I'm a bit closer, but things are still slow. Things are still slow. Turn this around professionally. Why are they slow, you may ask? Let me get this. Whoop, whoa! Why are they so slow, you may ask? Well, what I think, I've got a bit of a theory here. I think in the Mediterranean there's these sea monsters, and they grab your tiller and your rudder. And so when, oops, sorry, nearly overshot my designated number, otherwise, like I say, it gets out of control. And I think that they like pull you and hold you so that you can't really turn very well, and it feels as though you've got like things stuck all over you, like a net or something, which I haven't because I went and looked. I didn't dive in and looked. I leant right over. Anyway, I've just had part one of my dinner. Part one of my dinner was porridge with almond paste, which was very nice, and then I'll have some eggs and tomatoes and garlic later on. I'm gonna have to be on the tiller all night because we've got the headland to pass, and you know, with me with headlands, oof. So, and also the bungees aren't working in this water in the Med for some reason. They do for a little bit, but you know, you have to stay up and watch them. So, and Bill's back. Bill had a bit of a rest, and I let all the new lads take over. But Bill the bungee, he's back because he does the job better than anybody else. He's on now, but I still have to watch him. Apart from that, I think it'll take me about in the morning. Sometime in the morning, I shall have passed the headland. The picture, the one that I showed you, is the west side of it. It's all mountainous, and then on northwest side, and then the headland is down on the southeast, and that's much lower. It seems okay, but I'm still going to give it a wide berth. And then once we've passed that, I can, well, if the wind had allowed me, I would go up by 70. I would go 70 degrees. but for all intents and purposes, we've got an easterly wind or northeasterly wind, so I'm going to have to play it by wind. We'll see what happens when I get there, because I'm not there yet. I have to get around the headland. Pardon me. Okay. Once all this is finished, I'm going to have a really good sleep and eat my dinner properly. So I don't know if you realise that every time I make a video, I'm going like that. Wow. Because I'm rushing my dinner and my food down really quick, because I have to run down into the cabin, cook the food, come back up to the tiller, go back down, stir the food, come back up into the tiller, and I have to keep doing that, and so I don't have time to wine and dine myself. But that's okay. Anyway, quick look at the sea. It's quite nice tonight. Like I said, there's this undercurrent of monsters. Sunset. Corycia bobbing up and down in the sea. And over there, which you probably will be able to see in the far distance, is the headland I'm heading for. At an angle because of the sea. The wind, sorry. Okay, so hopefully next video will be me having passed the headland and on my way to merry Mallorca. Buenas noches. Good morning. Well, still haven't passed the headland. The usual. Bit of calm, bit of silly seas, bit of me not knowing how to tack properly, probably. What time is it? It's about 8 o'clock. It's at sunrise. Oops. Oh. Turn this around. Good morning. Yes, I've got my funny hat on. It's been cold. It's been cold. I've been on the tiller all night because I can't leave it or leave the bungees for more than 5 minutes at a time. Because we go way off course. I go downstairs, lie down, and within 5 minutes the ship Corycia's turned around. So I have to go up, fix that. By then we've lost any headway that we've made, and so then I'm standing still all the time. I'm so tired. I don't know what it's like to really sleep. Okay, I've had them few days at anchor and then in the marinas, but you know, it's not the same. Oh, we've gone off course again. Here we go. So I have to push it back on the course. It just doesn't ever stay for more than a few minutes at a time. And there you go. So now I can relax. There you go. Relax for 5 minutes, John. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. Hello. I don't know if you can see the in the background the headland. Yep, still the same headland. Become 10 hours now. Well, last night as well, but 10 hours. And I have covered maybe 6 miles in 10 hours. We get little gusts, we're just getting a little gust now, and it lasts for us. Lasts a few minutes, and then we get becalmed, and then the current just pulls me back. I'm getting further and further to the east of the headland, but I'm meant to be going north of it, and I'm going further south. So that's not really good, because I'm heading back to where I came from. So it was like 68, 69 miles to Mallorca. Now it's 72. And I've made progress east instead of north. I must admit, I had quite a big tantrum before. bit of a breakdown, because it's you know, if you've been following the videos, you'll realise it's been a nightmare. These calms. I don't mind the storms and stuff, but the calms just, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I'm wondering, all them people who make videos, you know, on the YouTube and stuff, like I suppose I'm doing, do they just edit all them out? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, don't see many calms on YouTube. But if you look on my channel, I've got like 15, 16 on one trip. It's like crazy. And it's like, I think, am I ever going to get there? Am I ever, you know, I'm going to run out of food. You know, the batteries are dying, the solar panel is broken, the lights are going out, motor's not working. There's a few other things which I don't want to mention because I might put a curse on myself. And all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, I know I'm in the shade again, sorry. What can I do? It's very sunny, it's very hot. Because it's the heat, like I said before. Anyway, so here I am, becalmed in the middle of nowhere. I must admit that I haven't seen any other ships or boats. Right? Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Isn't that what they say? It's quite peaceful, really. Sometimes it's not so bad, but sometimes after, was it 12 hours? After about 12 hours, you start to go a bit doolally, a bit mad, because it's just maddening. Well, this is how strange things get. There's the headland. I've passed it. Now, up till an hour ago, I was still in the same situation. It was hot, humid, there was no wind, flat as a pancake the sea, and I was flapping around with my sails, and a big ship would just come, just one. Right? And then I thought, okay, so I started having my dinner, had an early dinner, sitting down, trimmed the sails, made everything seem okay. And then I started eating, and before I knew it, the wind had popped up. As you can see by the flag, it's not much, but it's picking up. You can see I'm moving, and I'd passed that within half an hour. So I'd spent 10 hours trying to get over, I think more than 10 hours, trying to get past that headland, and Corycia did it by herself without even me noticing in half an hour. Then, another thing, the direction I'm going in, right, I need to go 060, something like that, to get to where I need to be. You know, más o menos 10 degrees either side. I couldn't get anywhere near it because of the way the wind is. So the closest I could get would be 90 degrees east or north. That was it. Yeah, that was my window. No, sorry, that was the window I couldn't get to. Yeah, so I could get up to north, and I could get up to 90 degrees, nothing else. There I was, eating my dinner, and I was sailing along on north, so I thought, just looked. It's changed itself to 60. So it's gotten itself on course, right? On course. I'm a bit of a Jesus, what a mess. Burnt and black. It's got itself on course. It's got itself past that monstrous rock, which is beautiful, but I was scared of it. And it's got us where we want to be. without me even doing anything apart from eating me dinner. I'm thinking, oh, you know, what am I doing here? That's a good question. What am I doing here? I don't know. Wow, I'm getting very strange colours. I'm burnt all over the place. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you can cover yourself only so much, you know. But anyway, so that's it. Of course, it could all change in 5 minutes. You know, I mean, I could get a storm, or we could get, you know, back to calm, and I could only go north again for 1 degree off, and the sails would start flopping, and that big rock would chase after me and things. Who knows? Who knows? That's what I'm starting to realise about being at sea. Like I said before, well, I'm not starting to realise it, because I already realised it. Anything can happen, and probably everything probably will. I'm exhausted and shattered, so I'm probably talking a bit of gibberish. It's been about 5 or 6 nights since I've had any sleep, really, and I'm starting to see things, and I'm starting to see the people again, and the boat's full of crew once again, and I didn't make enough food for them. Close to Mallorca. Can you guess what kind of weather I've got? Yeah, storm's coming. Of course, had to. I'm heave 2. Hoping it'll pass. Here we go again.